My love of wood started as a kid. Probably at the age of 6 or 7, I would go and walk down this road on my own and just spend probably all day, if I could, in the woods, being naturally inquisitive about everything. So climbing a tree, but I can really remember seeing bits of bark and looking at leaves and looking at the back of leaves and seeing spots on them and seeing how different woods broke and how they smelt. You know, that as a child intrigued me and kept me busy. I've always wanted to come up with a structure that would allow people to sort of sleep, live in the trees. When I first came up with the concept of a tree tent, it probably wasn't so much of a commercial venture. You know, I think a lot of things I design are things that are for me, really. It was just something I couldn't really stop thinking about. A tree tent is 3 basic materials. You've got your outer canvas, you've got your wood, you've got your aluminium. I just got used to working with those materials and making them complement each other, figuring out how all these loads work, having to suspend something that's stable in a tree but allowing the tree to move, allowing the structure to move with that. In a way defined the shape of the structure, it's nature telling us how it should look. The trick is to make a structure that weighs less than 200 kilos, yet can support 4, 5, 6 people in it, a wood burner and all the dynamic loading that's going on in the trees. What I really love about the tree tent and sort of what it's become is that it's so adaptable. You can add insulation layers onto the frame as well as a canvas or the hard panel. Inside, it's really nice to have a wood stove in there, and obviously if you're in a wood, it's a carbon neutral way of heating. Because it's suspended, it has no foundation, and it can be taken down in half a day. There's absolutely no trace of it ever being there. Most of the installs we use straps around the tree which don't harm the tree. It's a totally uninvasive structure. We've had the OK and approval from a lot of tree officers in protected woodlands in a lot of areas of outstanding natural beauty. We can get them into a forest in really hard to reach areas because they're a kit of parts when we take them in. You can have actually a finished structure which is habitable in 2 days in very remote locations, gorgeous locations, but can be extreme locations as well. You know, I still really like lifting them by hand. If I'm on an install, I put them on a couple of double pulleys and there's 3 of us going heave, and it's that process of manually pulling that structure up to the height. When you stand in it, it feels solid, but you hear a bit of a breeze in the tree, and then you see the tree slightly move and you feel that actually transpose into the structure itself, and you really feel that connection back with the tree, a bit like I did when I was a kid. We had a few people come to me and say, I love your tree tent and I love the way it's built, but we've got no trees. It got me thinking about other structures. What architectural grid shells do is they allow you to make large unsupported structures. By using the wood in this double curvature shape, it suddenly provides a really strong structure, but for very lightweight, small profile bits of wood. Moving on from the grid shell and the tree tent, the next structure we've got, the fuselage, is a sort of mix between the two. So it's a structure that can adapt to really quite slopey, difficult land. However, it's got more of a living space of a grid shell. The first one we're looking of having on the side of a mountain in the Alps, looking at some amazing views, but also being able to take on some amazing weather and keep the people inside it safe and warm and happy.